FlossTube, hope you're all well. My name's Kerry, this is Colourfully Cross Stitched, my YouTube channel where I talk all things cross stitch with a few book recommendations thrown in at the end too. And this fortnight's book recommendations are dark academia, so books set in schools but with a sinister kind of twist to them. So yeah, if you're into all of that, then stick around until the end. But I've got the usual whips, I've got New Start, just the one, a little bit of haul, some plans and some mentions of other floss tubers that I've been enjoying and watching recently, and then obviously I'll move into the books after that. So if you have seen some of my previous videos, you'll know that I always start out with the Stitchers Book Club sale from Cloud's Factory, so that's what I'm going to do this time as well. So this time, so each it's a sale, so we get a new part on the 1st of every month, and September's new part was a choice. You could either choose J.K. Rowling or you could choose Margaret Atwood for The Handmaid's Tale. So I'm probably going to go down the Harry Potter route, but I am way behind anyway. So yeah, I think by the time I've caught up down to the September part, all the other parts will be out. So but anyway, I will show you where I got up to. This is stitched on 16 count coffee and craft fabrics. So actually hopefully I put a picture up of where I was last time, and it might not look like there's been an awful lot stitched since then. Obviously the most standout is Murder for the Stephen King part of the sale with the balloon from the It Clown. Then I have stitched up and around the Agatha shelf there with the lighter brown colour. You might not be able to see quite as well, but in there is the white on one of the books. And then coming further down, I have, let me see if I can position this any better. I have stitched the spider and then the back stitch around the bottle that's down there. And coming across, I have stitched some more of the book that then goes into the Jane Austen section. So a lot of what we call eating our vegetables. So getting the border done and the last little bit, a few things there to be done. But yeah, really excited to get the Murder part in there of the Stephen King section. So yeah, still obviously really enjoying that one. Perhaps not quite as much as I would have liked to have stitched, but there was still quite a few stitches put in there. But yeah, it is what it is. Next up, we've got the Emerald City sale. So this is obviously from Owl Forest Embroidery. Jen's Stitchy Corner is hosting a sale. I'm not even keeping up with the parts of the sale now. This is where I got up to last time, which was my part one, because as I've said before, everybody started with Dorothy and the wooden house and the tornado. I started in the middle, and then now, according to the Owl Forest Embroidery pattern, because it was already sectioned out into the different parts of the sale, I've just gone rogue and gone from one side to the other, so I've not even completed another section. Anyway, I will show you where I am. So I've done the lion. Hopefully that's coming up. Again, plagued by shadows, but it's getting darker here down in Cornwall, as it is across the rest of the UK, because it's that time of year. But I have done the lion, some flowers here, this flower, finished this one, done the whole row of, I think, are they poppies? I'm not sure. And then started on one of the little mice down here. So technically I should have come across here and finished the Tin Man for that part, but then as it was in the Q-snap, I just went straight across that section and then just started stitching the mice down here. And I was chatting with Immy from Stitched by Immy, thinking that actually I'd probably missed out and should have started down at the bottom, but what I might do now is go across there and then come down here, and then I'll join everybody else at some point with the sale. So maybe by the time we get up to this section, I will be on track with everybody else, I don't know. But yeah, so really enjoying that one. I think this is a week's dye work, so you can see the variegation in the thread there, if it focuses and doesn't go too dark on me. But so yeah, thoroughly enjoyed working with those threads, the floss. I've not really used those too much before, but yeah, so really still enjoying that one. Then I worked next on the Witchy stitches. The difference between medicine and poison is in the dose. Boy, did I have problems with this one. So this is where I got up to last time, and this time I feel as though I've made some quite decent progress, but because I've got a whole skeleton in there, but just know that I have stitched that skeleton twice. So I had real issues with the skeleton. So I got up to, did the hip bone, the arm here, then did the hip pelvis bone here, then did the vertebrae, but because of where the break in the pattern is, I did one vertebrae too short. Before I realised, then came up here and stitched all of the ribs, and so I had to go back through and frog all the ribs. So because there's no way I could have fudged that, because there's a skeleton on the opposite side as well, and it would have just put everything out. So did that, then stitched this again, stitched the rest, came down here, and then came down to the legs and had to stitch a leg different again. So I had to frog again. The frog did not leave me alone. Pam, I need Pedro to come and visit to my house to keep the frog away. Please, could you arrange that? That'd be great. I'll pay his train fare just to come down all the way to Cornwall and help me with the frogging, because that was just unreal. I was so disheartened when I saw what I had done, and it was that kind of, can I fudge it? Can I not fudge it? And it was all absolutely not. Absolutely not. I could not fudge that one at all. So yeah, but yeah, making progress with it at least. Now I also had to I'll show it again, but probably stitched where I've got the colourway in there. Sorry, this is really bad. Where I've got the colourway, I had to sort of make a decision as to which colours to use for the skeleton. So started out with, I think, 3 colours, and then had to change, and then decided on the darker purple instead. I think I started with the very bright pink, and then that didn't look quite right, and started with the lesser pink, like the middle bit here, and then that didn't look quite right. So then I've ended up coming down, I think it's this colour here. So can't remember what that's called now, but that's a Weeks Dye Works one as well. So yes, lots and lots of frogging issues with that one, but I kind of found my groove with it eventually, and at least now I know what the skeleton on the other side is going to look like as well, so that's all good. Then moving on to the pointed fifth. So this is obviously Long Dog's pointed fifth, which I started on my birthday back in July. Still loving stitching this one. Again, not as many stitches I haven't put in this time, but this is where I got up to last time. And then here I have stitched the hair and then come across on this section here. So is it picking up the colours right? That's probably a more true representation of the colour of the fabric. I think it's lilac, so I got 32 count Murano even weave. So yeah, so that's where I've got up to. And as I said last time, stitching each of these different triangular sections here, because I'm doing it through markup, then I am so close to the pattern that I'm literally just putting in a stitch each time, and then it's only as you take a step back from the pattern that you realise what the motif is, I guess, on there. I probably should be telling you statistics, so bear with a minute if anybody's even interested. Just let me get my iPad out. And where are we? Markup. So I am with the Medicine and Poison, the Witchy Stitcher, I am at 15.12%. With the pointed fifth, I am now at 1.7%. I think I was at 1.1% the last time. And yeah, I don't really, I haven't really got too many other stats, to be fair. So those are the only 2 stats that I've got. But yeah, so making progress. Progress is progress. We all put the little stitches in and they all build up. Then next on my list is Harry Potter. So this is the Clouds Factory pattern, the huge one, that I am stitching, and I started on Harry Potter's birthday, which is the 31st of July, so 2 days after my birthday. And we are massive Harry Potter fans in this house, as I've said before. So my son is about to go off to university, who's a massive Harry Potter fan, so doing it while he's away at university, I'm kind of thinking, and I can send him pictures of my updates and things like that. I'm sure he can't wait. But anyway, so this is where I got up to last time, and I am now at this bit. So I had stitched almost all of Harry, bits of Hermione and bits of Ron. So yeah, just trying to that's more of a true representation of the colour of the fabric. So this is Zweigart Vintage Country Mocha. Again, it's 32 count. I'll come in a bit closer, but yeah, so I haven't got his scar in there yet, Harry, because I'm waiting to do the red of the uniform, and I will pick out the thread for that then. But this will be Hermione and this will be Ron. So at the moment Ron's just looking like a bucket. But yeah, so still enjoying stitching on that one. I'm enjoying stitching on them all, aren't we all? But yeah, so that's progress on that, and I haven't updated Pattern Keeper on that one yet, so haven't got any more stats, but we'll bring that next time. So those are all my whips. As I've said this week, or last 2 weeks, I've been quite busy with things. We're getting new sofas delivered soon, and so yeah, there's been a lot of moving around the furniture in our house, taking up time. My husband's been painting the lounge, getting my son ready for university still. So yeah, all of that jazz, getting youngest back to school, working. Haven't been very well this week either, so I'm feeling better now, but wasn't great towards the beginning of the week. But yeah, achy, tired, anywho. So that had an impact on stitching anyway. So new start, I started Witch's Hollow. So obviously, well, not obviously, but last time I shared that I got the pumpkins I got fabric, which was so much better than the previous one that I had. But yeah, so I made a small-ish start. Which way does it go? It goes this way up. So I've got a lamppost. This is in the middle of the pattern. So I've got the lamppost and then the start of the tree. I think this is a gravestone, and these are going to be paving stones in the pathway as it comes down into the main pattern. So yes, that's where I got up to, and I am using, so I checked out my stash of Weeks Dye Works and Classic Colourworks threads, and so I've made some adjustments. I can't remember if I showed this in my last one, so apologies if I did, but yeah, so I just picked out some of the colours in there, kind of held them up to the DMC card to see if they matched or not, and I'm just going to go with it because I really want to use up the threads that I've got without having to buy more. And yeah, I was just enjoying using these sorts of threads on Emerald City, so yeah, thought I would go ahead with those. The only one I'm a little bit wary of is probably this one and what it will look like when it is stitched on the actual fabric. So maybe hopefully it'll be okay, not too close a match there, but I think from memory the that colour is inside black, maybe it's inside houses and things like that, so it might not be too bad showing up on the fabric. But yeah, so that was my only new start. I do have my threads, I think I showed that last time as well, apologies if I'm repeating myself, the Long Dog Saga and the Long Dog Latitude. Everything is here for those now, but I haven't made a start on those yet because like I say, time has got away with me this week. But yeah, that was my only new start. However, I have got some plans which kind of leads in also to haul as well, and given that it's Halloween season, let me just shifty things around down here, but I couldn't resist when I saw this. I'm sure you've all seen it as well, but Cross Stitch magazine, so this latest issue, on the front cover was a Stitch Rovia pattern, and of course it was this one, which is Poison Bottles. So I just had to get the magazine, look through my stash, and I have got some fabric on here. The fabric is like mottled, almost like it's been stained, like something's been spilt on it or something like that. It does look really, really good, and it tells you in here which fabric it is. And obviously you get all the threads that you need as well, so as in a list of the threads that you need. So I was checking out what I had, and then I've got this one, which is Biscuit, it's called, from Evertote. And hopefully it'll come up on here, but you can see that it's kind of stained, so it looks not too dissimilar to Vintage Country Mocha, but yeah, I think it's possibly, let's see, maybe that sort of mottled effect. So where I've put the pins is where the pattern will go. So yeah, just thought I would, as I've got a similar sort of fabric in stash, then I thought I would use that for it. I didn't know what else I was going to use that fabric for, so that's all good. And then the flosses, at the moment I have just pulled them together so that they're in a palette, oops, in one of these. They're not all there. I think I've had to order some, not too many though, I don't think. But yeah, so they should be here soon, but I can make a start. And in fact, because I just wanted to, you know how you get excited about a new pattern and things, I do anyway, I'm sure we all do, but I was like, which one can I start immediately with? Obviously the fabric that I've got and the threads that I've got, and I think I'm probably going to start with Brain Juice, is it? Yes. So, so I've got all of the threads for that one. Just loving it. The more I looked at the pattern, the better it got. Like, this is a brain on the top, obviously that's an eye, that's a cross because it's the hex. The owl, is that? Hoot of Owl, obviously the label is an owl and things. Venomade, I love that. And can't wait to get down to Bat's Blood as well. So who knows when I will finish that one. But you know, all these patterns come out and I'm just desperate to start stitching them all. So so that was that one. And then there was another Stitchery pattern in World of Cross Stitching magazine. Sorry, I'm trying not to keep reaching across things. So this was in, yeah, World of Cross Stitching magazine, their latest one. But back in 2018, my best friend and I went off to New York together for our birthdays, to celebrate our birthdays, and yeah, we absolutely loved it. And then in the World of Cross Stitching magazine, Stitchery has got this pattern, which is New York in a globe, which is just absolutely perfect. We did the ice skating, we went in a yellow taxi, went up the World Trade Center, Empire State, I can't see which one is which actually, or remember even, saw the Statue of Liberty from afar. We went across on the Staten Island ferry, and yeah, we were actually there for Halloween, so not Christmas, not snowy, but it was Halloween, and we saw the Halloween parade while we were there as well, which was great. And we walked around like Manhattan and Brooklyn and saw lots of decorations for Halloween and things. It was just such a good time. We were absolutely exhausted by the end of it, but honestly it was so good. I'd go back in a heartbeat. So I just saw that one and thought, I absolutely love it. Love all the colours as well. So I did pull together some fabric, which is this blue. I think it's the fabric that is called for, which I believe is ice blue. Sorry, should have had this already sorted. Light blue, yes. So it's light blue, Zweigart 32 count even weave, and then this is the colour palette for that. Again, I've had to order some more, but that's what I've got so far, so I can definitely make a start on that one as well. So looking forward to that. And then as ever, I saw another one. So Little Dove Designs, again, everybody will have seen it. It's the Halloween heart, which I'll put a picture up here, which is just stunning. So I couldn't say no, couldn't resist. I already have some fabric and have all, I think, but one colour, which is, so this is the fabric, which is just grey, pearl grey maybe, from Zweigart again. And then again, I think I've had to order maybe one or two colours, but there aren't that many, and so that's what the colour palette looks like in there. So yeah, again, looking forward to that. So I'm thinking that my other starts that I'm planning, which are the long dogs, I might wait until November to start those, maybe, and concentrate on the Witch's Hollow, the Halloween Heart, and the potions bottles to see how far I get with them for Halloween. Start stitching on the globe once it goes to November, December time. But there is also one other planned start that's coming up quite soon as well. I was watching Cross Stitch Sarah, her latest FlossTube, and she was talking through patterns that she really enjoys from the Witchy Stitches book, which I've also got. And so Sarah mentioned that she wanted to do Dracula's Castle, or liked the Dracula's Castle pattern. So I said if she'd be up for a start along, then I'm more than happy to join her, because that's one of the patterns that I want to do as well. And so we messaged back and forth, and 31st of October we're planning a start on Dracula's Castle. So if anybody wants to join in, then please feel free. I would say it is a start along rather than a stitch along, because I never keep up with Sal's, as I have demonstrated. But I just thought, yeah, we both thought it would be quite cool just to start that. And what better suggestion that Sarah had than actual Halloween? It's a Friday as well. So yeah, then or anytime around then, we're going to be stitching Dracula's Castle. So please do join us if you love the pattern and quite fancy starting it yourself. So I'm thinking we've got like a little bit of time. So 31st of October, I've got time to make some inroads into Witch's Hollow, the poisonous poison bottles, and my aim is to try and get Halloween Heart done by the end of October. Doesn't seem that big, but we'll see. I know what I'm like. Also got like the Stitcher's Mole, not Stitcher's Mole, what's it called, Chopping Mole. I haven't done any more on that either. Anywho, there we go. There's lots of patterns to be doing, isn't there? So but yes, and then speaking of mentions, so obviously watched Cross Stitch Sarah, been watching all the usual floss tubers that normally watch, Stitching Magic 111, Adelaide Stitches, who's obviously doing an amazing Space September, which I haven't joined in with. But yeah, who else? All sorts of people. Pam, Ditsy Daisy Crafts. Been watching all my usual floss tubers, but also been watching Stitched by Immy, who has joined the Stitches Book Club, Sal. So I'm so pleased that you've joined, Immy. It's great. And yeah, Immy had a great idea with the J.K. Rowling and Handmaid's Tale patterns coming out this time, that actually, because I'm not going to get anywhere near there, then yeah, just see what else comes out. And if there's another, so say October's, I don't really like what's been chosen for October, then I could technically stitch Handmaid's Tale and perhaps the Harry Potter on both of those, because I do like Handmaid's Tale as well. But that was such a good idea, just to leave it open and see what comes up. But yes, I've been watching Stitched by Immy, also watched Ducks and Crosses, so Bethany, and if you've watched her latest floss tube, she will tell you where her name comes from, so that's a really cute and funny story. So that's cool. Who else? Oh, Nikki Knack's Crafts, yes. Nikki's great. I've just started watching her floss tubes. She's Welsh. I could listen to her Welsh lilt all day long, but she was sharing patterns that she'd been working on, and one of them was the Tiny Modernists Fantastical Greenhouse, which I'm not stitching and I'm not going to stitch, but seeing Nikki's version of that was just fantastic. She's stitched a Welsh dragon, so bright red and fiery on the top instead of the dragon that is called for, and it just looks fantastic. So you definitely need to go and check out Nikki's latest floss tube, where she'll share that one with you. And also, talking of the Tiny Modernist Fantastical Greenhouse, how she stitches, so Sharon has also been stitching on that one. And in the unicorn section, Sharon's done the unicorn hair all different colours, like a rainbow, which I also thought was fantastic as well, because, you know, growing up I had My Little Pony and had the rainbow hair and all of that sort of stuff from the pony, so I know it's a unicorn, but yeah, just both of those just really caught my eye these past couple of weeks that I've been watching, and so many other floss tubers as well. So yeah, it's just such a great community, isn't it? So it's yeah, I just want to watch everybody all the time, and there's just not enough time in the day. So but yeah, so catching up with people slowly, and I think that's probably it, yes, for stitching. So a little bit shorter this week, I think. So yeah, if you're new, thank you so much for listening to me waffle on about my stitching. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back to see how I'm getting on with all of my projects. I know I'm a bit of a slow stitcher, and I know the projects I've chosen are massive, so it's going to take me a while before I can get a finish, I think. But the day I can post that I've got a finish on FlossTube is it's going to be immense for me. So I hope you'll stick around until then. But so I'm going to segue into books now, but if you're going to jump off here, then thank you again so much for watching, and please give this video a like or subscribe if you haven't already and you're so inclined to do so. Leave me a comment down below. What are you stitching on? Have you got any plans for Halloween stitching? Will you be joining us in the Dracula's Castle start along? Yeah, just let me know. I love chatting to you all in the comments down below. That's one of my favourite parts of putting out a FlossTube. So yeah, hope to see you down below, as the saying goes. And yeah, so books wise, this month or these past 2 weeks, I can't even remember, where are we? Middle of September. So yes, from the beginning of September, I have read Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. Not a thriller, obviously, a romance. And I would say, if you have not read Ali Hazelwood's before, I think I've read The Love Hypothesis, which was a little bit steamy. This takes it to a whole other level. So if you don't like steamy romances, do not read this one. That's all I'll say. And it's called Deep End, but apparently the working title for this one was Wet. So I'll leave that to your imagination. But yeah, so this is about a girl who is a diver, really great diver, had an injury, recovering from that, and the guy is a swimmer. They both are for their university teams. But yeah, just it's great. The story, there's emotion in it, lots of really good backstory, yeah, technical knowledge on diving, which I didn't know anything about, so that was quite good to learn a bit more about that. But yes, very steamy. Yeah, just go into it with caution if you don't like that sort of book. But I enjoyed it. I also have been listening to the Harry Potter books, so while I've been stitching away on the Harry Potter pattern and while doing other things, I have also been listening. So I've finished listening to The Philosopher's Stone and have just started Chamber of Secrets, so I'm loving listening to those again. And as well as that, I am also reading Into the Drowning Deep. So a couple of people, when I did in my last FlossTube where I mentioned spooky reads for the spooky season, I mentioned that this might be one of my maybes, and a couple of people mentioned how they'd read it and really enjoyed it and could have put it down. So I immediately bumped it up my list and started reading it. So I am probably maybe a quarter of the way through, really enjoying it. All about a documentary team that went out to find mermaids. Years ago, the ship went down, nobody was discovered, there was no survivors. The ship was found floating with no one on board, but there was footage of mermaids attacking the people on board. So this is 7 years later, and the sister of one of the victims on the boat, original boat, they're all going out again on another ship to find out what happened and to see if well, mermaids exist or whether it was all a hoax, the original version. So really enjoying this one. Yeah, there's a little bit of mixed media in it. There's quotes from people, and yeah, it's just really good. So I haven't got too scary, no, I haven't got to any scary parts yet, but I'm expecting them to sort of come, so I'll keep you updated on that one, but enjoying that. I also have one book that I bought before I get into the Dark Academia. So it is Janice Hallett's new one has just come out. So it's called The Killer Question. Love a Janice Hallett. So again, she's got lots of mixed media in her books, which is great. I will show you what they kind of tend to look like. So I haven't read too much about this book so far, but I don't really want to. But we've got like post-it notes. I think these are emails, and then it's about a quiz team, so there's like a little flyer there. So I've not read anything, I don't want to spoil myself for it, but the sudden death round will be murder is the tagline on the book there. So I'm really looking forward to reading this one, so I might well dive into this one as soon as I finished Into the Drowning Deep. Janice Hallett's books tend to read quite quickly because they are mixed media, so it's quite easy just to read them really fast. So yeah, looking forward to picking up that one. So Dark Academia is basically books that are set in schools and that have a bit of a thriller, darker type edge to them. So have I got 5 or 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 I think I've got. So so I'm going to start with, which one should I start with? Probably one of my absolute favourites is They Never Learn, which is by Lane Fargo. I think I've mentioned it previously, but this one is about a female serial killer, a good for her book, and told with 2 points of view. And yeah, so one day she's a professor at the university school. One day she takes things a little bit too far in her serial killer ways, and people start to get suspicious. So this is really good for the back to school season. Can highly recommend. Next up would be In My Dreams I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead. And then I said Ashley Flowers, that's a different author. Ashley Winstead. So this one is really good. It's about a school reunion that takes place 10 years later, I think, after an incident occurred. And we get the flashbacks from way back when, 10 years, 20 years ago, and to the present day, and how it is with these people all coming back together again following the incident and trying to find out exactly what happened. So really good. Again, I don't like giving too many spoilers about things, so I won't talk into too much depth, but if you're looking for something with the back to school vibes, then definitely go down that one route. Next up is For Your Own Good by Samantha Downing. So this one, I found Teddy, the professor in this one, is one of my favourite characters for being sarcastic. So I might just read a little bit of the blurb on this one. So it says, Teddy Crutcher has just won Teacher of the Year at the prestigious Belmont Academy, home exclusively to the brightest and the best. He says his wife couldn't be more proud, but no one has seen her in a while. He's deeply committed to improving his students and well aware which ones need improving. And all he wants is for his colleagues and the endlessly interfering parents to stay out of his way. Oddly, not everyone agrees that Teddy has their best interests at heart, but will that change when someone receives a lesson to die for? But I just really enjoyed this one. So good. Really quick read as well. So again, if you're looking for any dark academia, I'm trying to think, was this mixed media? No, I don't think it was, but yeah, read really quickly as well. Quite short chapters in this one. So that was another one that I would recommend. Then we've got The It Girl by Ruth Ware. So this one I would say is more of a slow burn mystery set at Oxford University in the UK, and again follows an incident that occurred, and people are going back, revisiting, trying to find out what happened, who did what, and all of that. So yeah, that one, it was quite a slow burn, but if you like that sort of mystery vibe rather than thriller, there's nothing, I wouldn't say there was anything too thrilling about it from memory, but it was definitely more mystery. So if you like mysteries, then I could recommend that one as well. And then finally, I will go with, probably was one of the first thrillers that I read when I came back to reading in the last, well, not a few years ago, but yeah, I think it was probably during COVID when I read this one, but I hadn't read that many thrillers at that point, and this one was just absolutely fantastic, which is His and Hers by Alice Feeney. I'd say loosely set at a school. There are school vibes, But yeah, this one is more about husband and wife, obviously his and hers, and it does it say it there? If there are only two sides to every story, someone is only lying. And then 3 words to describe my wife: beautiful, ambitious, unforgiving. I only need 1 word to describe my husband: liar. But this does have some school vibes as well. But honestly, this was, again, really, I couldn't put it down. Really gripped me, really short chapters. Just flew through this one, and how the story all intertwined with each other, I found really, really good. I thought there were like little cliffhangers pretty much at the end of every chapter as well. And it's one that I would want to reread, just to see now that, having read so many thrillers since then, whether it would still have as much of an impact or not. I know, obviously I know the story now, so it wouldn't have the same impact, but whether I would still enjoy it just as much or not, I don't know. But yeah, I just absolutely loved this one. So if you get the chance or the opportunity to read it, then yeah, definitely do. And I think that was it. Those are all the books. So yeah, hopefully that's given you a few more options to add to your to be read piles. Sorry, not sorry, if you've been sat there. I know some people in the comments below have said that they're enjoying my book recommendations and they like sitting there with a pen and paper ready to write them down. So if that's you, thank you so much. I'm so pleased that people are enjoying the book recommendations. I wasn't quite sure how it would fit in with FlossTube, but I'm guessing a lot of us are readers as well, and particularly if you love an audiobook, then that really, you're doing 2 things at once if you're stitching as well. So yeah. Anyway, I will see you again soon. Thank you again so much if you've got to the end, and like, subscribe, do all that jazz. I would so appreciate it. And what are you reading? Do you have any books on your October reading list, September-October reading list for back to school vibes? Is there any that I haven't mentioned that's your favourite thriller? Please definitely add it down below, because I'm always looking for more books to read. And yeah, I will see you next time. Thank you, bye.